Hello learners, I welcome you to this topic, mechanical properties of material, where I shall have an overview of how materials behave under external forces, presented to you by Itagi Bright. Some of the common construction materials that we know. These include wood, metal, rubber, glass, concrete, a few from the many, and we can see some of them in the photos. What do we understand from mechanical properties of material? This is how materials respond to applied forces. For example, we can see two boys pulling a rope. So whether the rope breaks or it doesn't break depends on its property. And what are some of those properties that we can look at? So these are the following. One of them is strength, which is the ability of a material to withstand force, breaking force, or ability of a material to withstand a force without breaking. We've seen several times cars being used to pull other cars using a chain. So that chain does not break because it is strong. And same applies to the other boy who were pulling the rope. If that rope does not break, then you can say that then the other property is stiffness, which is the ability of a material to resist a deforming force or a force that makes it to bend. We see, for example, if you're trying to bend a piece of wood or metal, a material that has low stiffness easily bends, and then a material with high stiffness does not easily bend. The other property is ductility, which is the ability of a material to be stretched or drawn without breaking. So that material can be drawn into very thin wires. For example, we can see that copper, it started as a big block, but you can stretch it into a fine wire without breaking. So if a material can be drawn into thin, very thin one without breaking, then you can say that material is ductile, and we have seen majority of the wires from different metals. Then brittleness, which is tendency of a material to break suddenly without bending. And the first one is glass. Glass easily breaks. The other is crisps, they easily break. Biscuits, so that is brittleness. The other is elasticity, which is the ability of a material to regain its shape after being stretched. And the most common to know is the rubber band or rubber itself. Plasticity, ability of a material to undergo permanent deformation. For example, you see that bottle there, after being stretched or squeezed, the shape remains. It does not go back to its original shape. So that's what we mean by plasticity. And then a summary of all these. What is the importance of us knowing these properties? They help us to make proper choice of materials that we can use in construction and other things at home. And for further reading, you can watch a video on YouTube, and this is the link. Great. Thank you for watching.